Coming up on Mountain News this morning, more children are testing positive for COVID-19 here in the Commonwealth. And masks will be on everybody's school shopping list this year. Hear from one group that is trying to turn wearing it into a more upbeat experience. And we take you to Frankfort, where some lawmakers are raising more questions about last week's mask mandate.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining me on Mountain News this morning. Today is July 14th, and it's Tuesday, or like we call it, Monday 2.0. And we're starting off with some kind of chilly temperatures right now, which we know won't last. Let's go ahead and bring in Brandon Robinson to show us what we can expect to last. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning, Lacey, and that's the first time I've ever heard temperatures in the summertime called chilly. But I mean, you're not completely off, especially when it comes to the air temperatures, but you can still feel it when you walk out the door this morning there. Some fog is also around, and it's pretty dense in spots. Zero visibility, Pikeville and Logan right now, Williamsburg too. So if you're riding along the I-75 corridor from Mount Vernon all the way down into East Tennessee, be careful there this morning. Slow it down if you're getting ready to head that way anyway. And across the Cumberland Valley and Big Sandy, also slow it down quite a bit this morning. Temperatures 59, Somerset, Danville, Williamsburg, and Monticello is at 58. Everybody else in the 60s this morning. Low 60s, though. Only spots on this map that are a little bit different. 67 Jackson and 70 in Louisville. So what a difference a day makes. 87 this afternoon. We're going to knock the morning chill, using air quotes here, off really quickly, and those temperatures will get up there. When you factor in the heat index, it could feel closer to 90, and this is only the beginning as temperatures soar the next several days. The rest of the forecast in just a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And going from 90 to 60, I'd say just a little chilly, right? And Governor Beshear is urging Kentuckians to follow the mandated mask order as the state is continuing to see an increase in COVID-19 cases. The governor announced 272 new cases of COVID-19 last night, and that is likely lower because of the weekend. However, Governor Beshear expects the number to be higher today. Right now, Kentucky has 19,653 total cases. We also learned 4 more people have died, bringing Kentucky's death toll to 629. We also learned of a new death in Laurel County yesterday. Several law enforcement officers testing positive in Clay County and Harlan County had 19 new cases yesterday, their highest daily total so far. And another concern during this pandemic, Governor Beshear says that we are seeing an increase of cases in Kentucky's youth. On Monday alone, 3 eastern Kentucky counties saw new cases in people under the age of 18. In Knott County, the 4 cases announced yesterday, 3 are in babies less than 1 year of age. Meanwhile, Perry County reported 4 new cases in people under 18, and Wolfe County also announced yesterday that 2 people under 18 tested positive for the virus. And Governor Andy Beshear announced last night that 11 children tested positive statewide. Now, out of those numbers we told you, it's unclear how many of those cases were just mentioned and included in that number. Nick Oliver explains why this increase is a concern for Kentucky families.
The elderly have taken on a brunt of the virus that continues to claim the lives of Kentuckians every day. But with a summer of travel and contact, cases in children continue to grow.
How many grandkids will take this home to grandparents, and how many people will be hospitalized, and how many people will die as a result?
The administration sharing today 11 more cases in children. In Harrison County, 4 children in the same family have contracted the virus, of course all linked to travel. Around the state, much of the same. 3 pediatrics in Knott County, 4 children in Perry County, and 2 cases in Wolfe County. The administration says they have been able to make some pinpoints.
Youth athletics is being shown to be a really rapid spreader of this. Every time, not every time, but most of the time the students come back together and play their sports. We found it in football teams and cheerleaders and weight rooms. The thing is, if you get close to people, it spreads.
Meanwhile, daycares are also trying to adjust. 20 staff members and 9 children have been battled the virus.
We need to keep our daycare facilities open. We need to have this, especially for working parents, but we have to know that we need the right rules and regulations in place as more staff and more children become infected.
The governor says hospital beds remain in top supply, saying if a surge were to come, the state is ready. At the Capitol, Nick Oliver, WKYT.
The governor says they have no current plans to close daycares again, but they are closely monitoring these cases. And another thing that will be on everybody's school shopping list this year, masks. Students are asked to mask up if they are moving about or can't be 6 feet apart. It's something that some students are anxious about, and school leaders say they understand that anxiety. That's why the Kentucky Educational Development Corporation, a resource outlet for students, is stepping in. They're starting a social media campaign to show students the importance of wearing masks.
We're trying to send positive vibes to students that it's going to be cool to wear that mask to school because it's going to keep you healthy.
Officials with the program say that it is an effort to motivate and encourage students to think about the health of those around them. And some state lawmakers want an immediate public hearing over the governor's mandate for people to wear face masks and coverings in public, seeing a variety of problems from some people with legitimate reasons for not wearing a mask being denied service to people ignoring the mandate with no repercussions. Representative Daley Hale says that he walked in a store where he was only one of several people wearing a mask, and even workers there weren't wearing them.
There seemed to be no enforcement from the store managers or store personnel to ask these people to leave.
In addition to the issue of what to do about noncompliance, some lawmakers questioned what role the Kentucky legislature played in the decision to issue the mandate and what to know more about the scientific evidence used to determine the need for wearing face masks. Also, Governor Beshear says that we should know in 8 to 10 days if the mandatory mask wearing is having an impact on the rising numbers of COVID-19. And he answers a question about the recent protests and increasing COVID-19 cases. Those are two of the areas that WKYT's Sam Dick talked to him about in a one-on-one interview yesterday.
Governor Beshear says it won't take long to see if his mask mandate is working.
Really, what we will see from the benefit of this mask or facial requiring mandate is we'll see it about 8 days, 10 days from now. But I will say that all of the science is there that if we do this, we will reduce the number of cases we would otherwise have.
Some of our viewers have wanted to know if the rise in positive cases is tied to the recent protests and demonstrations where people were so close together in many situations, many of them not wearing masks.
Well, there were people that were close together. We're not seeing, though, the data to back that up at the moment. What we are seeing is a lot of it coming from out of state and from vacations. We're seeing spread through places where people are primarily indoors and engaged in things where droplets would spread.
The father of 2 young children is still hopeful students will be able to safely return to class this fall. I also asked him from a personal standpoint how he felt to see the state slide back into higher numbers of infected people.
As we see the numbers go back up, it hurts. And you always wonder what if or what other decisions could be made. But my job is to try to make the best decisions in real time. And then really knowing what we need is to get people back motivated to make sure we're following the very best rules and restrictions. And what we're seeing is I think people, especially about July 5th, maybe it was after big July 4th gatherings, are starting to grow increasingly concerned again. And I hate to say that's good, but we need people that are mindful, that know what it's going to take and are willing to do it.
An appeals court judge says that he will not overturn temporary restraining orders issued against Governor Beshear's executive orders. Now, one ruling involves a Boone County daycare and racetrack. The other stems from the lawsuit involving the agricultural commissioner and Evan Orchard. A Scott County judge ruled the governor's orders were unconstitutional and restricting businesses. Part of that ruling also limited the governor's ability to sign any more executive orders Because of that ruling, Attorney General Daniel Cameron filed a motion to have that same judge weigh in on the governor's mask mandate. But the Attorney General says he does not support wearing masks.
I'm wearing a mask. Most of my staff has been wearing a mask as well. I go to church, there's mask. I'm complying with the mask when we go into restaurants and in stores. But I'll let Judge Privet make a determination about whether the mandate should be upheld.
And I'm sorry, I misspoke. The Attorney General does support the wearing of masks. Hearings on both rulings will be held on Thursday. And a Southern Kentucky state senator has announced that he tested positive for COVID-19. State Senator Max Wise, who represents Kentucky's 16th district, released a statement last night. In it, he says he began experiencing mild symptoms late last week. The positive test results came back yesterday. Senator Wise says that he is already feeling better, but will quarantine until he is COVID-19 free.
Well, the forecast this morning starting off pretty nice in some locations, a little cooler than we were expecting this morning. We're seeing up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain, things looking pretty good so far. It's the valleys that are seeing the fog this morning. Temperatures, though, what a difference a day makes. 59 right now, Somerset, Williamsburg, 58 Monticello, and some cooler temperatures across the region. Still low 67 up on the ridge at Jackson, 65 in Ashland, and a pair of 64s in Pikeville and Logan this morning. So a normal day. I have to bump up a little bit from the iced coffee here in mid-July on the coffee meter, but a normal day today if you need some coffee to get you going. And about to get me a cup here in just a second. More sunshine today. That dry stretch continues for a little while longer, but the heat wave is on. It starts today, and it's going to just go on all the way into the weekend and into early next week as well. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, as coronavirus cases continue to surge across the United States, California has closed their economy again, and other states may follow suit.